The materials you are going to need are a 1.25 gram spoon or measure, a cup of water for safety measures, ziti noodles, dry yeast, a 425 milliliter cup, 3% hydrogen peroxide, and a lighter. The first step in the experiment is to measure out 100 milliliters and pour it into the cup. The second step is to measure out 1.25 grams of yeast and pour it into the cup. The third step is to mix the hydrogen peroxide and the yeast together for approximately 5 seconds. After that, you're going to want to put your cap on without screwing it on so pressure doesn't get built up inside the jar. Then you're going to want to put your ziti noodle balanced on top of the hole so the oxygen is able to go through it. Lastly, you're going to take your lighter and light the top of the noodle. After the noodle is lit, you are going to want to take out a timer and record how long it stays lit. This noodle lasted for 16 seconds. After you are done, you can take the excess fluid, which is just water, and put it in a trash can or a nearby sink. You will want to wash out the container for the next run. After that, repeat the process, except this time, don't use 100 milliliters, use 200 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. This noodle only stayed lit for about 8 seconds. This is not a part of the experiment, but I figured I would show it to show you why we do not screw the cap on all the way. Continue the same process, except this time use 300 milliliters. Remember that this video is not an actual time, it is sped up for convenience purposes. This noodle lasted longer than the others. It lasted 1 minute and 2 seconds. We are going to repeat the same process we just did. Restart doing 100 milliliters, 200 milliliters, and 300 milliliters again. Remember this round we are using 200 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. This noodle, being different from the others, burned all the way through for a total of 1 minute and 12 seconds. This is the last round, which is 300 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. This noodle burned for 43 seconds. I am following the safety procedures in this experiment by having a cup of water nearby just in case a fire breaks out and wearing goggles during it. Overall, this experiment went really well. But my hypothesis, which was the time it takes one noodle to burn will change if we change the amount of hydrogen peroxide combined with yeast, was not shown to be statistically true because there was no pattern in the data that proved it correct. Some factors that might have affected the experiment are it was 72 degrees, it was 34% humidity, and it was 0 miles per hour wind speed.